I am so excited about this video because I am unboxing my newest machine, the Bernette b05 Crafter. Now, my favorite thing about this machine, even though I haven't unboxed it yet, is that it was totally free. For me at least, because I won it at this year's Atlanta Frocktails. That's right, your girl won the grand prize, the big prize, the grand finale, this sewing machine, and some other goodies that I'll show you in this video as well. Now, if you don't know what Frocktails is, I'll give you a little bit more info about that in a minute. But first, hi, I'm Tiffany of Tip Stitch, and welcome back to my YouTube channel where we discuss all things sewing and DIY. So if you've never heard of a Frocktails event, I'll tell you a little bit more about it. It is basically an event that is hosted by sewists and crafters in any particular city throughout the country and actually throughout the world. And other creators and crafters come together and show off me-made items, accessories, shoes, bags, hats, girl, whatever you want to make, all right? You can throw that on and come. You can talk with other creators and sewists in the community. Those social media friends that you have, you get to meet them in real life. You get to yap on and on and on about crafting with other people who also sew, craft, knit, crochet, or whatever, and they're not going to look at you like you're crazy because they're a part of the community. I know so far South Florida has had theirs, Atlanta had theirs, of course, Chicago just had theirs, and I do know that New York and Charlotte also has some dates coming up. So definitely check out the social media community. If you wonder if your city is having one, put something in the comments and I'll try, and as well as other followers will hopefully try to get you some information about whether or not your city already has one, and if it doesn't, there's nothing to say that you can't start one yourself. So definitely look into that. So we're going to take a look at this Bernette b05 Crafter. Now, this is my first machine from Bernina, because Bernina owns Bernette. The way that I understand it is Bernina is more like Acura, Lexus, and Bernette is more like Honda, Toyota, if that makes sense. But I'm very excited about comparing this machine against the other machines that I use. Currently, I have two Singer sort of workhorse machines that I use for most of my projects, a Singer Precision and a Singer Stylus. Those are on my sewing table right now. I also have two Brother 1034D sergers because it's a nice entry-level serger, and I would rather have two cheaper sergers than one really pricey one, at least for right now. And then I have a Janome Cover Stitch CPX. So as you can see, I don't have any brand loyalty until a brand decides they want to sponsor me, so holla at me. Let me know. But anyway, I want to do an unboxing of this, let you know that everything that comes with this b05 Crafter, and then later on down the line, after I've used it for some time, I want to do some comparison videos between this Bernette and my Singer machines. They're all sort of like entry-level machines, so I think that's going to be a fair comparison. And the Bernette is actually manual, whereas my Singers are computerized, so I think that's going to be a good thing to explore as well. But without further ado, let's jump right into the unboxing. All right, so this is the box. It's really cute. It gives you a view of sort of the front of the machine and a woman dressed in something that let's assume that she made, because, you know, crafter. And then the back of the box has sort of the back view of the machine, and it's branded with Bernette. And I'm assuming this machine is sort of like a reddish orange. Y'all know red is my favorite color, so I guess this is close enough, you know, orange. So let's just go ahead and start taking things out of the box. Of course, first we have styrofoam. Here are what looks like to be some feet and some oil and some other things. We will get closer into that in a minute. There is a lot of styrofoam, so this may wiggle the camera some. Actually, I might just dump this whole thing upside down. Let's see if I can get it. All right, now we have the foot pedal. Now remove this piece. This was in here securely, y'all. They really wanted it in there safely. And here we go. This is the b05 Crafter by Bernette. All right, like I said, here are the main pieces. We have the machine. We have the foot pedal. Then of course you are going to have your warranty information, as well as the sort of like short guide booklet that also comes with it. So I will look at this a little bit later, but this is a fairly basic machine, so I'm pretty sure that that won't be too necessary. And then we have a bag of accessories here. Let's look through it. All right, so in the little plastic baggie, there were quite a few little goodies, which you typically get with a machine. You have the brush with the seam ripper. We're all familiar with that. You have an extra spool to do that second spool of thread if you're using a double needle or for whatever reason. You have a screw tool that I'm sure undoes something. We'll figure out what that does in a second. You have your felt, as well as your your larger spool cap, so that your thread doesn't go flying off the spool thing. This is like a height jumper, I believe, to help you when you're sewing thicker fabric, so you can do one thickness, two thickness, or put all three together. And I think this will help you jump over thick seams, like if you're sewing wool. There are a couple of needles here. There is a thread net for, to cover your thread if you're using maybe a woolly thread or something. I am not 100% sure what this is, but I think this is another tool. It looks like it would be used to screw or open something. You have 3 bobbins. These look like the same kind of bobbins that my Singer takes, so a class J16, I think. And then we have this little doohickey, which I'm not 100% sure what this is. I think it's just a small spool thing to put on the end of here to like hold your thread on instead of the larger one. I've just never seen one this small, so that's neat. And then we have, this is a seam right guide. I don't know exactly what this is used for, but I think I've seen a YouTube tutorial on this recently, or like a reel or something. So I'm gonna go back and see what this is about. And then we have a collection of feet. This one is an invisible zipper foot. Mine is plastic, so this is my first time seeing one metal. This is a regular zipper foot. We should probably be familiar with these. This is a blind edge foot. You use this for like top stitching and really creating a neat line. I think you can also use it for like stitch in the ditch. And then this is a overlock foot. You use this to do like a fake overlock or surged edge. I think it's like a finishing hemming type thing. And then this is the buttonhole foot, which actually looks pretty different from my Singer buttonhole foot. Maybe not that different, but it does look a little different. Hopefully this will make better buttonholes than my Singer machine. All right, let's take a look at the machine itself, the Bernette b05 Crafter. Now, the first thing that stands out to me about this machine is actually the color. You can see the burnt orange here that I mentioned before. Like I said, initially, I thought this was red, but you can see here on the back and the side that this is sort of like a deep sienna burnt orange color, which I actually really like as well. Of course, it has a carrying handle here, so you can move that very easily. The second thing that you'll notice is that this is a manual machine. You have 2 knobs here versus like a screen and buttons. So we can maybe talk a little bit about the differences between manual and computerized machines in another video. But for this video, I just want you to know that this is a manual machine. Now, I'm not going to talk about what all these knobs do on the front and the top of the machine, because I want to do a separate series for beginners on getting to know your sewing machine. Well, we'll learn what all of these things do, as well as how to thread your machine and how to thread and load your bobbin. So look forward to that coming soon. I also like how you have the Bernette branding right here on the front, immediately. And there is a drawer here, or a little storage section here, for you to put like your presser feet as well as any tools, or snacks. You put a few M&Ms in there for a nice little break while you're sewing. And then we have a little scrap of fabric here underneath the presser foot that shows that this machine has been tested. There's a straight stitch, a zigzag, a decorative like quilting stitch. So we know that this has been tested and working. It does have a drop-in bobbin that actually has an almost fully loaded yellow bobbin in here, don't know why. And then you do have a back stitch. Again, there's not going to be a lot of bells and whistles on this machine because it's more entry level, which I think is going to be great for trying to start a series where I'm teaching others how to sew and what your machine does. So I'm so thankful that I did win this when I did. You can also see that this arm comes off, and this is useful when you are sewing smaller things like shirt hems. So let's see, let's turn it to the side. You can see here, you could get something like a sleeve hem or a collar, something smaller around this hole. You remove that table, and then you can put it back to have the larger space to work with if you're just sewing your fabric or whatever. So that's a nice basic feature as well. And then we can see on this side, we have the power outlet where we attach the power and the presser foot, which is here. So that's really all of the basics about this machine. So I also have a little funny story that goes along with me winning this sewing machine, and that is the fact that I didn't realize I had won a sewing machine. When my number was called for my raffle ticket, I ran up to the front and Aronica, the main host, handed me this bag, and I was like, oh great, thanks. And she was like, no, it's all yours. And she sort of motioned to the floor, and I was like, everything in the bag? Yeah, thanks. And it took another attendee to point out, no, like you won everything. There's a sewing machine on the floor, at which point I finally realized I had won this sewing machine. So let's take a look at everything that is in the bag as well, because I might as well show y'all everything I won. Let's take a look at everything that I won in my prize bag along with the sewing machine. First up are these fat quarters from Stof Fabrics and the Brewer Sew Quilt Create shop in Aurora, Illinois. I really like this because it's a black and white colorway of fat quarters, and I love black and white, y'all know that. Next up, I have this collection of Metter thread, and this is Metrocene thread. It is 100% polyester. I'm assuming this is a high quality thread. And there's a nice selection of like your basic standard colors here, from neutrals to black, blue, gray, and brown. I also have this cute little zip up 6x9 bag from Coffee Designs. I'm really excited about this because I needed a new cosmetic bag. Now, if I was smart, I would use this for like my sewing things when I'm like sewing on the go, for like my seam ripper and needles and scissors and stuff, or like when I go to Sip and Sews at Top Stitch, but I'm probably just gonna use it for a makeup bag. This bag busted, but I'm still really excited about it. It is Nifty Notions large fabric clips. There are 20 of them in here, and I love that these are larger than my standard Wonder clips. Let's do a comparison. So here is the Nifty Notions clip next to a Wonder clip, and you can see it's much larger. So this is going to be great for certain items where the small ones will be great for other items. So I like having the option, and now I have 20 of these. Another little gift that I think is really great is from Oh So Organized, and this is like a stash thing where you can store things. I have been wanting this for a while. They come in all kinds of sizes, and this is a smaller one, but it's so cute. And you can use this to hold things like, here's an awl, here's a pin. You could stick like your Choco pen in there, and it just keeps everything nice and organized on your sewing service or your cutting table. Like I said, I have wanted one of these for a while, and I love, of course, the fact that it is red, which means I was supposed to win this bag because everything is the colorway that I like. Another item from Nifty Notions is this 4-count pattern weight kit, which I think it's great because you have 2 straight pieces along with a curved piece and like this 90-degree angle piece, which will be great for different pieces of like your patterns when you're cutting. So excited to use these pattern weights. They have a nice heft to them. I have 2 pins. One says, I love Bernina, and now that I finally have my Bernette, I can say that I'm a part of the Bernina family in a way. And then I have a Bernette pin that says, sewing is my superpower, which, you know, of course, is true. So I love both of these. And lastly, I have a foot kit from Bernette that goes with my B05 crafter machine. I'm not going to try to tell you which foot is which, but I will tell you what feet come in this kit. There is a ribbon coaching, binder attachment, beading and sequin, pin tuck, gathering, cording, piping. I thought that was the same thing. Zigzag foot with a guide, and a roller foot. So I am excited to play with all these feet and see what they do. I do not have this many feet for my other machines, and I love that in this booklet right here it gives you a list of everything, plus there's a page dedicated to each foot to tell you, how it's used and what stitches you can use it with and such. So this is going to be a great addition to my B05 crafter. So here's a look at everything that came in my prize bag. Well, that is everything I won at the Atlanta Frocktails event. I used to think that I was really unlucky, but my husband's luck has started to rub off on me. The number one thing he told me to believe is that I am a winner. So I was expecting to leave that event with the prize that night. I just didn't know that it would be the big prize, and I'm super excited about it. As you guys can see, everything I got, I should be. And I cannot thank Aronica and the rest of the team for throwing this Atlanta Frocktails event enough. I had a blast. I had a great time. I got to see and mingle with other sewists. Some I already know, some I only know from social media, and some I had not known before. I had an amazing time. If you have one in your city, I suggest that you go. And I want to say a huge shout out to the sponsors as well. Thank them so much for giving the team what they needed to throw this amazing event. And of course, a special shout out to Bernette for sponsoring the sewing machine giveaway that of course I won. Now, like I said early in the video, I plan on doing a series about getting to know your machine and like the basics of getting started to sew. Because I know there's some inspiring sewists out there who have been a little intimidated about starting on their sewing journey. And like I always say, my biggest regret in sewing is that I didn't start sooner, and I don't want that to be something that you say as well. So make sure that you like and subscribe so that when I get those videos out, you'll be the first to see. Also be sure to comment and let me know, what do you think your biggest hurdle would be? What's holding you back? Why haven't you started sewing yet? Because I know you want to. And until next time, happy sewing. Bye.